Whenever I take my SRV out doing a live stream, people always comment on my rather unique driving style, or should I say flying style. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. I never really thought of the way that I drive an SRV as being anything special, but people always comment on it when I do doing live streams, and I've also had people write to me on email saying, well, that's an interesting way, and asking how I do it. So I thought I would give a quick overview of some of the tips and tricks that I picked up when it comes to traveling with an SRV that I find to be one of the fastest ways to get over the planet with the least amount of chance to actually hit anything. And I'm also going to go over my key bindings later on in the video so we can see how I set it up for a HOTAS setup. Okay, so here we are in the SRV, and first thing you note, drive assist of course is off, and that's because it's just so much easier to control with drive assist off. When you're traveling and you have drive assist on, it will spin out. As I see it, drive assist, you use that when you want to do more finesse work. So let's say you're driving around, let's say Dav's Hope for instance, and you're picking up materials where you need to be a little bit more accurate with your steering, then you use drive assist. If you want to dock with the ship, drive assist can be used there as well. Just for traveling, I would always recommend to put that thing off. Now, the theory that I'm using when I'm traveling in my SRV is spend as little time touching the ground as possible. So what I will have is I would put 4 pips into engines, 2 pips into systems, full throttle, and as soon as I get a little bit of air time here, I'm going to use my thrusters to keep me in the air. Don't go too high, just pulse them slowly, keep you just hovering above the surface, and I'll be looking for a nice flat area to set down on. So I want to get over this ridge as well if I can. We're slowly running out, so just getting a little desperate here. So I think I'm going to try to use this here, use this ramp here to get up again. There we go, and now I have full pips again. So I'm using my my pips as little as I can to try to give me as much air time as possible. And then I'm looking ahead for flat areas. So there's a nice flat area here. Try to align your wheels so all wheels head at the same time. There we go. And you can then keep going like this. Now I have a bunch of rocks up here, so I want to fly over those rocks. I don't want to land in the middle of a boulder field, because you've been driving here before. That's my old tracks. And we can set it down here as well. So that's some of the, at least when you're just traveling in a straight line. You'll also notice that when you're driving without drive assist, you can go beyond the 30 meters a second, making you actually travel even faster. So that is just if you just want to fly, but of course you often want to go to a specific place. So let's see if I can't find a rock. So there seems to be on my radar something in that direction. So it's important to note that once you're in the air, let's just quickly get a little bit of air time here. I can show you. Whoops. Keep that under control. There we go. So when you're in the air, right now I'm trying to yaw. I have no yaw control. I do have roll and I do have pitch. And you can of course change your heading by rolling and pitching like I'm doing here. But the problem is, as you can see, I'm still heading in my original direction. And I put all pips to shield. There we go. So I'm still heading in the original direction that I came from. So even though you are turning the SRV in the air, you're not really changing your direction. So when you take off, you need to make sure that you're heading in the direction you need to go, because you can only change your direction when you have wheels on the ground. Now, let's go for the rock over here. That's a little bit further away, I think. Should be something in about, I think, that direction. There should be something. Because another thing you might have noticed is it can be difficult to hit the rocks with the turret. Now, I'll try to show you here what I like to do. So let's get a little bit closer here. Okay, I'm coming up towards a rock here. It has not yet been rendered. There it is. So let's see if we can get the turret over. There we go. And you can often hit it from the air by letting the turret slowly gimbal towards it itself. Otherwise, you can't do the tactic I showed you before by rolling and pitching. And you can often hit it from the air. You can see my own tracks here, because I did try to find one that was in a fairly decent spot, so it wasn't on a hillside, making this a lot more difficult. But that's the whole point, is to try and see if you can hit the rocks. If you're prospecting, hit them from the air, and then set down as close to the rock as you can, and then you can of course go out and say, okay, now we can already have my cargo hold open, so we can now go ahead and begin collecting materials like that. Another small point that's also good to know, you can see I've taken a little bit of hull damage doing all this. If you're coming down from, let's say you're going downhill, you got a lot of speed, or you're coming down a little hard because maybe you ran out of engine boost, move your pips over to shield, and then straight back to engine so you get those recharged, like so. You can see now here I'm coming out over a hill, so I'm coming down from quite a bit of height. This is actually a good example. So I will try to use as much of my boost as I can to slow me down, put pips over, pips back into engines, and then we're back in the air again, and we can then continue our flying. So manage your pips, and from time to time, when you're on the ground, maybe you should also consider putting some pips over to your weapons so that you have the weapon capacity you need to take down the rocks whenever you spot them. It takes a bit of practice to do this. It's, again, to me, for some reason, it just felt pretty natural to do it like that. I feel like it's the fastest way to get moving over the surface, at least on lower G welds. And it's a lot of fun, to be honest. But let's go ahead and let's have a look at the key bindings. Okay, so here we are in the control settings, and let's quickly go over it. Drive assist, I just set that to a small button on my joystick as well, and it's a toggle, meaning that I can turn it off and on, don't have to sit and hold it. Drive assist is default to on. That's really your own preference, what you want. All the mouse steering, rolling, and pitching is all set to off. I don't want to use my mouse for any control because I'm doing everything on the HOTAS. Coming down here to the steering axis, I use the RZ axis on my joystick. That is the twist. That means I control the SRV by twisting my joystick. Of course, you could set dead zones if you need to. Roll axis, again, I'm trying to keep this as similar to flying a ship as possible because I am essentially flying the SRV as much as I can. So the roll axis is also my x-axis, being left to right. My pitch axis is, again, up and down, which of course is inverted. So I have exactly the same controls as I would do if I was flying a ship. Vertical thrust, that's our boost. I've set that, you don't be confused that these are set to the same thing. One of them is joy 1 on the throttle unit, and the other one is joy 1 on the stick itself. So here I have, of course, this is on just a button, basically, and again, this is set to hold. I don't want this, you could set this to toggle if you want. That would mean if you press it, it would then continuously boost. But you don't want that. Make sure that's set to hold, because as I showed you before, we're kind of pulsing our thrusters here. So we kind of want to be able to just hold that down for as long as we need and then let go. And then there's, of course, this is primary, secondary fire. You can set that to wherever you want. Handbrake, then just some button somewhere. And the same with headlights. Also have mouse 1 for this. And the same with all these are pretty much, I've just set that to whatever you like. But if we move down and look at the drive throttle, you can see here again, I use the this case it's a throttle unit, and where I use the x-axis, that would be moving the throttle back and forward. I've set the throttle axis to forward only. That means if I pull my throttle all the way back, the SRV engines will shut off. And if I put it all the way forward, I'll be at full throttle. Because you don't need reverse that often. And when you need reverse, it's often in very short bursts at the time. You can use that for braking very hard if you don't want to reach for your handbrake. And that's why I've just set that to set the forward only throttle reverse to a button on my joystick. Meaning if I press that button, and if you expand that, you can see this set to hold as well. This is not a toggle for me, not in the SRV. That means if I press that button, the engines will switch over. We can actually see this if I go into cancel that, actually. Let's just, confirm. Okay, sorry. There we go. Let's just head back into the game. You can see if I'm driving forward and I press that reverse button, instantly it goes in reverse and go instantly forward. Instantly reverse, instantly forward. And right now I'm holding the button, and as soon as I release it, it goes back to going forward. Because you only need reverse in so short bursts, I don't feel like it's necessary to have it pressed to switch gear, like permanently be in reverse. It also, you avoid that situation where it begins to reverse where you didn't really want to. So that's how I've set that up. But that is pretty much all there is to it. Again, as I said, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, it's not that difficult. Before we end today, if you enjoyed today's video, if you have suggestions for other videos, of course, you're free to put them in the comment section, and I will consider if I should put it on my to-do list. And of course, if you want more guides for Elite Dangerous, how-tos on pretty much everything that the game has to offer, remember to hit that subscribe button because I have plenty of more videos coming out. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, again, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.